Hello, and welcome back to Reality Realness. We are covering Drag Race All-Stars 5. My name is Michael Pez.
My name is Chantele Francis.
And I am Jojo O'Toole.
So,
and I'm happy with how it started.
it was such a good premiere. It was a good
Shocking.
premiere.
It was great. I mean, a lot of us have already seen them a few times, but let's talk about these looks when they came into the room because they kind of set the pace on like how I think the season's gonna go, you know? So out first, you know, the what's it called? I was gonna call what is Janelle called from Big Brother? The Rob Goddess. Hey, Kool-Aid, the Rob Goddess comes out, and I wrote down that she looked like a black Barbie doll. She looked so good.
It looked so good. Her makeup was flawless. Her outfit was great. She took the same spot that she took in the workroom, and great entrance. I love it.
Yeah, I feel like her look really goes with your screen, Chantele.
Yes, it does.
Your background screen.
So purple.
Yeah. And her little like hat box, her hair copped, her lips, and entering saying like, "I'm black." Couldn't have been better. It was beautiful. It was probably my favorite entrance line and look.
Yeah, she looked like $1 million.
Yeah. Well, she probably spent $1 million on the season. Let's be honest.
Yeah, definitely. Like in her confessional look, she looked a little bit more tight, but she looks great.
Can we talk about all the work done this season? Woo.
Well, as we get through it, what do you think she has done? I definitely think she just seems a little tighter.
And I think that the skin, her skin looked like flawless. Compared to like season 9, I feel like a lot of queens from season 9 got a lot of flack for like the HD look. So like Aja and like I remember Kimora Black, like they trolled her and stuff. But then they all like came back and their makeup looks like it's. I think it's just a little bit of skin regime.
That too.
Or just like better makeup. Like maybe before she was using drugstore. It's all good, use what you got. But drugstore store makeup, and now she's using like designer brand makeup, which it does.
Classy of Beverly Hills.
Yes. A 1-year supply, a week supply.
Yeah, maybe that's why from all the things.
Yeah, like take our stuff, use it.
Can I have this? Okay, so next up on my team, Ms. Cracker.
Ms. Cracker.
What do you think about her entrance?
She's always so funny. Like, and correction.
Yes.
She's always good. And she always has like a little witty pun to use your name. So it's fantastic. And she always looks like a perfect Barbie doll. Like she'll always have that perfect blonde poof hair. And it works so well with her, like the face shape and her body. And she always just looks like $1 million. Every time I see that kind of hair, I always think that's Cracker hair. Yeah.
I don't know how like name, but she seems really small though. I just wish she was a little bit more statuesque.
I mean, throw in a couple of extra inches on those heels and just elevate your
I've never seen her in person. Is she a tiny person?
Yeah.
She seems tiny. She seems like she's like shorter than me.
She is 4'2".
No, I'm 5'5". So she feels as though
she's probably 5'5", I would assume.
But then why should she be like 6'2"?
I know, right?
No, but like Shea Coulee seems tall to me. She seems like she's 6'4". You know what I mean? And yeah, she looks like she's about a foot shorter than Shea Coulee.
Yes, at least.
I didn't write down anything else specific about her, but I thought that she was cute when she came in, and I was like, okay, hopefully Miss Cracker is going to do a little bit more than she did the previous season. Like, she was pretty good. Obviously, we talked before about how she gets in her head, but I was like, okay, I have some high hopes for you. Hopefully she does well, so.
High hopes.
So we had Alexis Mateo come in. How'd you find her look, Luke?
Showgirlish. Very showgirlish. And, I got to say, and I will take back what I said for the last thing, is that I didn't think that she was very nice of a person in her third season in All-Stars, so I kind of changed my opinion. She seemed very humble, and she seemed very, grounded, and she seemed really nice when she came in.
Very round. No, I'm just kidding.
Very rounded. I think
Grounded.
probably very grounded. I feel like she's probably grown up quite a bit. She knows that a lot of people are watching the show, so there's definitely a maturity level on top of that. But I like that she kind of came in on brand in the red, white, and blue, and BAM kind of has been her catchphrase since season 3. So that's something that people have held on to, and finding support through like Miss Vanjie stands. Maybe some people didn't know that she was Vanjie's drag mother. So that could be another added, like, oh, we're going to give Alexis Mateo another shot.
And it makes her a little bit more relevant, too, with Vanjie and everything. So, yeah.
Well, I appreciate, sparkly Puerto Rican flag gear.
And the real hair.
Like, the bodysuit. And she knows that, like, Miss Vanjie got flack for just, like, wearing a decorated bodysuit.
Yeah.
And it was nice, but I would loved it to have been a little bit more elevated, a little bit more like exciting. Like I didn't find the shape and the silhouette to be anything to gag over. Like it was just kind of, it was okay. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's fair.
It was okay. I wasn't wowed at all. So I was kind of like, okay, glad she's not on my team because doesn't seem like she has bumped up at all.
She's on my team, so I'm going to keep my fingers crossed for her.
Thank you for taking one for the team.
Yes. Second choice, third.
I mean, hopefully she has more design experience and that she might have, like, leveled up there. Who's next? Blair St. Clair. I thought she looked amazing.
Blair's grown up.
Yeah.
Blair has grown up.
And grown out.
Lip injections. She got I love that sexy working girl like look. It's like a prostitute going to the office.
A prostitute on her way to the office.
In a little short
100%.
suit, like with her, I don't know, sexy hair, and then her comeback. So she's like, her sass seems like she's on fire this season, and I'm excited to see it.
It's really cool. Like what happened with her is that she was so young on season 10, and then she left, and all of a sudden got this music career. All of a sudden, this music blew up, and then her all over Instagram, she looks awesome. And I think that it just season 10, I feel like it just shot her up there, and then she just is now. She's now coming into her own. I think All Stars. I think she's going to be there for a while.
Well, tell me about their music career. I haven't seen anything about this. I mean, obviously.
She came out with a song right after she got eliminated. I don't remember what the song's called, but I remember it's she sounds good. And it's very, it was playing when I worked at the bars. It played all the time. So she.
Was it upbeat?
I think she's done both. Ballads and
upbeat. Yeah, ballads and upbeat, yeah.
But maybe we'll talk about her music later, because she's a great recording artist. I'll leave it at that.
She was a musical theater kid growing up, correct?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought I remembered.
But I mean, these people do a lot of growing up, right? Blair was a child. Blair was from the middle of nowhere, I'm assuming. I think she was the first drag queen from wherever she is from originally. So
Minneapolis?
Maybe. So I'm assuming she has literally grown up and out.
Well, she probably has been able to interact with some queens that are kind of more similar to her aesthetic. So all the model queens. Who's the one I'm thinking of? Violet
Chachki, Aquaria.
Who's that other girl? So pretty. She's was on the cover of Vogue.
Carmen Kira.
Oh, she is amazing too. Well, she's trans.
Valentina?
Oh, Valentina.
No.
Who was on the cover of Vogue?
Or
one of them.
Milk?
No.
No, Milk's just
Milk was did a lot
for Pearl? No,
not Pearl, but Pearl's great too. Pearl, and then the other girl in that queen in that same season, I think.
Violet Chachki.
Miss Fame?
No?
Miss Fame.
Oh, Miss Fame.
Yes, Miss Fame is who I'm talking about. Has a similar aesthetic, and I think that she's been hanging out in circles of previous RuPaul's Drag Race people, that maybe she's kind of learned a little bit more about her aesthetic and learned a little bit more about how she could, grow in that department.
Yeah.
Actually, this kind of like reminds me of a conversation that I was having about season 12 and about how this guy that I was talking with, he felt that Jada deserved to win because she had more heart and she seemed to be more of herself was giving out there to her drag, and what she's going to offer in her drag, and didn't feel as though that Gigi Goode was able to offer the same amount of things. And I think, in my opinion, it's because Gigi Goode is still learning about her drag and learning what she's going to bring out there, and instead, that's why she didn't win. So, I don't know. I think that Blair is now kind of learned more about her drag, and that's why she's kind of bringing more of herself out there.
For sure. And once you are on a show like RuPaul's Drag Race, and people see what your aesthetics are and sees what your talent is, then a lot more people will approach them online, like designers and all this stuff, and then that kind of you grow and learn as a business that you are a brand for these certain people, and that's also a part of finding your own voice and look through drag.
Yep. And that's how you can grow from there. I think the top three for season 12 was really interesting because each of them were favored to win at some point. It was people were really team Gigi, then they kind of turned, then it was team Crystal, then it became a team Jada, then it was Gigi was robbed, then it was Crystal was robbed, then it was people celebrating Jada. It was for my social media, it was all over the place. I was I couldn't concentrate on who wanted who.
I personally was more excited by Gigi, but I didn't understand the argument of her not bringing her, it was more of a performance as opposed to an exposition of her her soul, Yeah. So I get it, but I like creative queens for sure, and so I didn't feel as though Jada wowed me in that department.
Yep. Fair.
Anyways, we got Mariah, who?
Balenciaga.
Right. I'm glad Mariah's on my team.
Beautiful.
Yeah, she looked good. She got some contacts in. Always a good color contact, and nice big pink hair, big bodysuit, looked like she's a superhero. And I'm ready to see what she's got.
I used to wear colored contacts in high school. Totally did. Or gray ones. They looked purple. Anyways, I thought she looked great. When I saw her come out, even though I knew who she was, I was like, who is that? And I kind of thank goodness for all the clips in JoJo Frozen.
Sorry, I can hear you still.
All the clips of her previous season, I was like, oh yeah, I remember her. But she didn't really leave a lasting impression on me, from her season. I do remember thinking she was pretty. I do remember thinking that, oh yeah, she should go home because she didn't know the word. I remember all those feelings. I always wanted her to do better, but so I have hope for her, but she's not at my top, obviously.
Yeah, I think she's worked really hard to make it to All Stars. I think that her real life career has been doing this, and that she's jumping on Drag Race or All Stars while moving on up. She's done a Work the World tour. She works. I'm excited to see what she can do. Yeah, so fingers crossed.
I'm glad she's on my team. I'm really glad she's on my team. Yeah.
That's it?
That's all I got.
Okay. And another who is up next is Who is India? I even said her name was Ferreira, but it's Farrah. So who? I feel that she just does not look like a nice person. She doesn't look like someone that I want to talk to, that I want to root for. I don't know. I mean, it's probably why none of us ended up picking her. I wish I had at this point. But, none of us ended up picking her was because she's not really likable.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing when it comes to, just performance. I remember going on, taking acting classes. The teacher was always you got to be likable. You might be, the best actor in the world, and you might be the best drag queen, but if you're not likable on camera, then Like, you always root for the villain and you root for people. But if you're not likable, then I don't know.
There's a difference between like loving to hate someone and just being indifferent. You know what I mean? It's okay, like, if your Drag Race is a platform for drama, for, even though the last couple of seasons haven't really gone that way because people are so conscious about social media and how people are perceiving them. Like, I think I mentioned it last week during our draft picks. Like, I've experienced India's drag in real life at that Piranha's bar in Vegas, and I was so unimpressed. She was in boy clothes, no wig, full face, gorgeous face, but it was like, yeah, I'm just hosting like episode 4 of Drag Race season 8, and I was shocked at like her level of professionalism, I guess.
Yeah. So I wouldn't have considered her to be an all-star. I don't know if maybe they should change this to returning players or returning drag queens.
Second chances.
Yeah.
Second chance.
Great second chance.
For those of you that don't remember season.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really excited about seeing what she had to offer. I'm just kind of like, meh. Like, okay.
And
I mean,
her entrance look was just like it looks like she's uncomfortable. Like, it looked like it was like an uncomfortable drag outfit. It was too, it looked too theatrical and painted theatrically. I don't know.
I do think it was cute though that Miss Cracker kind of was commenting on the fact that like, they're like we were twins, or she did, and then she's like, "Oh, I'd have to take yours in a little bit." Yeah. little dig there. I thought that was cute. I did like them having that kind of playful banter, but that was more so driven by Miss Cracker. So, you know,
she's like, I was surprised to see a queen come back that's spoken out against the show in the past, and someone that's quit drag.
Sorry, what did she?
So India's like gone on record online to complain about the show in general, not just like trans visibility or the problematic elements that Drag Race has. And she like comes for people every single season on her platforms. So I was surprised that they even invited her back. But I do think that Ru's casting a show and putting Derrick and India in a room full of 8 other people is going to be this right away.
8 other instigators too. Like all of those people in that room, other than those 2, like all of them are very outspoken people.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys. It's kind of on this topic that I was in a little bit of a argument / conversation with someone about. And so basically they were saying that they felt as though when Ru does her walk around that she's not necessarily being genuine and listening to the stories, that she's really kind of only driving, whatever storyline or whatever vision she wants to have that the dynamic between them be. And that they feel that she is she's kind of closed off with who she allows on the show, et cetera, et cetera. And my argument back was, sure, but it's her show. Yeah. And that, she has created these opportunities through her own experience. And they were kind of arguing with me, being like, well, like she should open up and expand her horizons. And like, just because this is what happened in her life, like growing up, and how she, like her words of wisdom, then, she should be more, she shouldn't be offering this because sometimes it's bad advice. And I'm like, but it's her show. She created something through her experience, and that's what she appreciates and wants to honor. You are like that person's becoming the face of her show. Mm-hmm. And so I was kind of like irritated because I'm like, you're tearing someone down for doing something, their own heart's work, creating a platform for drag artists to come up, and because you don't feel as though you like what she's doing, you don't think that she's doing a good job. You know what I mean? And I was just kind of irritated by it. So what are you guys' opinion on that?
I could talk about this. Oh, sorry. Oh my God. Sorry, guys. I could talk about this forever. I could.
Don't.
I'm not. I'm not going to. But I've seen so many people like drag RuPaul online for a lot of like decisions on casting or like you said, not broadening horizons when it comes to all aspects of LGBT and drag. If that's where we're going with that conversation. But I mean, at the same time, what she offers as advice is advice for that person in that moment and for that challenge. You know what I mean? Like, so there's a lot of times like, you know, we're just doing Snatch Game. They're talking about Snatch Game. They're talking about a character. And she's just like, maybe you shouldn't do Beyonce. Maybe you should do like somebody else from Destiny's Child or do something else. Like, I don't think that it would be good for you. Just like take the note. And if the note fails, then if you take the note and you fail, at least you tried what she said. Mm-hmm. And that's the whole thing. Like when Gigi said about she wanted to be Maria the robot, she's like, a robot? How's that funny? And then Gigi's like, just trust me. And like, that's where, you know, where I respected Gigi. I'm like, she didn't want to listen to that. So she's not going to take that advice. She's listening. She's not going to take it. And it all depends. And that's the whole like journey of every single person on Drag Race.
Absolutely. But, and like also, like they're coming onto her show.
Yeah.
So this is what she wants to represent. And people can create their own show if they don't like what her show provides. Like that's their on them. And I was just getting so frustrated that like, I know this is kind of touchy to bring it here, but you know, we're in the Black Lives Matters like time in television and in the world. And I feel as though this ends up happening with a lot of Black creators, that they create something and then other creators or other people decide to tear it down because it's not what they want it to be. They do it to Oprah, they do it to her all the time. And it's really frustrating that like she can't have her own point of view and express that and be successful with it without people saying that she's not doing enough. Like Oprah, I feel like she, regardless of what she doesn't do, I think she does a lot.
And she's done enough.
A lot.
Yeah.
I think that she provides a lot, but it's never enough. It's never she didn't, you know, give, you know, $1 million to this group or this group or this group. Like, what? Anyways, I just feel that there's other like we'll say white artists that create platforms that don't have to be held up to such scrutiny of like their vision as it seems as though Black creators have had to. And it's a little bit frustrating because I'm just like, why can't she do what she wants to do? It's her show.
Let's keep in mind this is also a super gay show. So pushing that as well, gays love to complain. They love to, we love to like pick shit apart at times. So Ru is being blown up into this massive phenomenon that's like spanned generations, and people are going to find things to nitpick and complain about. Like even my partner and I, we realized it was such a difference between Ru at like season 8 to Ru now. I find Ru so much warmer to the contestants, more invested in them personally. I initially thought like, no, she's a judge. She's the one that picks who's leaving. She doesn't have to give these people anything. But I feel like she's kind of become Mother Ru a little bit more. Instead of just saying I'm Mother Ru, she's literally like, yeah, I'm going to give Plastique a big hug because she needs it right now. And she never had to do that back in season 8 or season 6. It's just changed so much in my mind.
Like with that, like, you know, people have their drag mothers and Ru's basically a global drag mother. And if people don't want to be part of the house of Ru, then they can go and find their own drag mother. And so it's kind of like, they want her to be creating opportunities for LGBTQ community, but then they don't like her vision. It's like, you don't like my taste. Okay, you don't like my taste. You don't like my drag. Well, that's fine, but this is my show. And so, anyways, I was just really frustrated because, like, he kept on just going on about, like, well, like, there's other types of performers that she doesn't really allow to be on the show. And it's like, but it's...
Who is this? I'm finding him.
I feel like you know him, too.
Name anybody. That's someone that has an opinion on Facebook about RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, when that Celebrity Drag Race came out, the Secret Celebrity Drag Race, I knew what they were going for. I knew what they were going. They were taking they took the first episode was 3 males. They put them in drag, and one was non-binary, 2 were straight, and they put that in there. And it was like, oh, well, these aren't real celebrities. 1, you're not a real celebrity, and no one's a real like. Give me a break. This person might not be a real celebrity on these blockbuster movies, but they might be doing a lot of like publicity and other things for. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that. But to put all these different people in drag, it was to show what drag was all about and expressing yourself. And we might not have a trans person on this season or never again. But at the same time, it's just what drag invokes from all of us. Like, I've never done drag before. I have never done it. And I know that once I do it, yes, I will friggin' love it and I will, like, embrace it with all my heart. But I'm just, like, saying there's so many people that are just hating on it because it's not their show. You're right. Yeah.
It's like, let her do her show.
Yes.
Let her do her show.
It's hers. Okay, so going on to, I thought she looked like a star coming in, Miss Jujubee. I thought she looked gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
I was excited to see her, and I feel like she's probably leveled up in her drag, and yeah, I was impressed.
Yeah, I think Juju's always prepared. She's so well-rounded that she's gonna do great, in my opinion. I don't see how Jujubee will ever flop, and if she does, it sucks, but I don't see how it's possible. She's made it to the end twice already.
Yeah.
Won't be surprised if it's a third time.
Yeah, it's the way they're doing this season with the voting and stuff like that. Those rules are. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, Jujubee, I'm glad she's on my team. Like,
I mean,
she was my number 1 pick, anyways. Like, I wanted Shay on my team, yes, but I'm really glad that I have Juju. Yeah.
My first 2 picks was Shay and Juju. So
100%. Yeah, mine too.
And no, she was my 3rd pick. Juju was my 3rd pick. And Derrick came in next.
Hey,
with like, the same Britney reveal. And I was like, I think
it was fun to do a tearaway. I
would be obsessed with doing tearaway. Obviously, that's amazing. That's like the most fun part of his act. But like, he needed to have gotten a clue.
Yeah, he didn't.
Like, be coming in to say that, like, I'm going to do something different than Britney and then do his same Britney gimmick and same Britney hair and same Britney makeup. That, like, it's really, like, how is he separating himself from his Britney image if he's doing Britney? Like,
yeah. I mean, if he came in looking like Britney and then did a, like, down drop, short red bob, something underneath, that would have been fun. But no, like, Britney's had so many looks too. Like, he could have done like a toxic look that came in and said something really like sassy. I don't know. I feel like there was so many missed opportunities with Derrick in this entire episode.
And it's going along with that too, that like, if he cannot break out of Britney, go further with Britney.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we've been saying this week and last week. It's like, okay, take it to the next level. Do Britney shaved head. Do Britney
umbrella. Yes.
Do Britney like
like extensions shown, like coming out of her head. Like yes, I want
do that. Like do more. Do Britney in Vegas on her stage.
Yes.
Well, like he does that.
Getting married that one night and then getting divorced the next day. Like yes,
like just
something
take it further. If you can't step out of that box, like just do more. Don't just do glitter.
Gorgeous, but
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like, typical like Britney.
Yeah, I don't want typical anymore. I do want stunning. I get all that, but I even like wearing that you guys notice in the confessionals that Britney cartoon sweatshirt he was wearing? They were all like different Britney. I'm like, you're still doing Britney, babe. Like, anyway, we'll talk about his confessionals later. So low energy.
We got next is Mayhem Miller. She looked beautiful coming in for sure. I did want to have her on my team as well. I was pretty much hoping that I'd have Shay, Juju, and Mayhem. No, Shay, Blair, and Mayhem was who I was hoping to have, but I didn't.
Not Miss Cracker? Didn't you pick Miss Cracker first?
Second. She was
So lasted a while. It's a good one.
I picked Blair first. I thought she had the biggest transformation. I thought Ms. Mayhem Miller looked great. I love red. My mom used to buy me red turtlenecks every year for Christmas. She loved me in red, so I love Mayhem Miller in red.
Lady in red. I liked her red streaks. They reminded me of Gale Weathers in Scream 2. The really thick, chunky red streak. I was like, oh, this is 1998. Perfect. Loved it.
Good reference. Good reference.
Thank you.
You know what, Mayhem Miller, she came in. She's not here to crash the party. She's here to end it. And I'm kind of glad she's there. She kind of adds a lot of fun energy to it. Her facial reactions alone all episode was fantastic. So, yeah, I think Chantele's frozen now.
She is. I love it. She looks great. I'm gonna document it for her. She looks great in it.
You look great, babe.
Gorgeous. Sending that later.
I was like, that's a great headshot. Like,
it's perfection. She's great. I'm gonna recreate it in case anyone can tell.
Where's China mug?
Oh, she's gone. Oh. I am now the host.
Oh, you gotta let her in.
This is a lot of pressure, but now I'm taking.
We've never done this before. We've never lost Chantele.
So, I'm assuming she's going to rejoin. You're going to have to help me through this.
Okay.
I'm going to keep recording. I'm going to look at participants. She's probably going to join us.
This is like a mission to win veto.
We might edit this part out. So prepare that.
Maybe a part 2.
Let's see. I am now the host.
This is Mayhem.
This is Mayhem Miller.
She did it.
Who's next?
She did it. She's like, I'm here to end the party.
I'm here to. Literally, we ended Chantele.
She'll come back. She probably crashed, and she's probably.
Oh, I think she's beeping in.
She said her internet is dead.
Dead? Oh no! Rest in peace. I see the message. What a sin. God, my hair is out of control.
Looks good.
Thank you. I'm going to go have a quick pee while we're at this. Is that okay? Do I have time?
I'll entertain the troops.
See you in a sec.
Cool. Hey, let's take this opportunity to hi, Michael Pez, and welcome to Reality Realness with 3 S's. So you can follow us anytime on Instagram at Reality Realness with 3 S's. And always subscribe to us. We have our little comment down below. And this is, I've never done this solo before, so this is interesting. But yeah, Rupaul's Drag Race, Season 5, All-Stars. I thought it was a great episode. The entrances, does anybody else get really excited and watch the entrances over and over and over again like how I do? Because I do. I even watch YouTube videos where I rewatch all their entrances and yeah. So comment below on what your favorite entrance has ever been or ever tagline. Anyway, so are we excited for Drag Race Canada? Drag Race Canada starts July 2nd on Crave TV. And it is all Canadian drag queens. And I'm super excited about it. Finally, Canada gets its own drag race. Now, we'll be hosted by Brooklyn Heights and Stacey McKenzie and 2 others, Tracy Maljar, and I can't remember the other host of Drag Race Canada, but it is a
Tracy McKenzie.
Tracy Maljar.
He has 3 names. Oh, what was his name?
We're going to Google that after.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it starts July 2nd on Crave TV, and it should be very exciting. Should we end this? Hello! Welcome back!
My days of host were really short-lived. I tried to take over.
It could be you one of these days, JoJo. It could be you. Or is this a secret trick to get me out of here?
Yeah, get me out of there.
That was...
We were talking about Mayhem Miller before we went into the weird twilight zone of internet connections. And we're talking about how we love her in red with her red streaks from Scream.
Scream 2. Gale Weathers.
Anything else to say about this lady? Has she been doing anything up until now, like that we've heard about? Like, I don't know anything about her.
Mayhem's, I mean, that meme went viral. Her eye meme, that was huge for a while. Yeah, you need to look it up. Just
I
like
forgot. I meant to, but then I forgot.
Eyes.
Go ahead, keep talking.
Yeah, like I still follow Mayhem on Insta. I like her posts. She's really charming. I think she's on brand for what she got out of Drag Race, but she's also been working like for Drag Race, for like that Celebrity Drag Race. She was doing all the makeup for half of those contestants. And I kind of wish that Drag Race really should have shown them painting their faces. I would have liked that instead of just hearing about it on Twitter.
So wait, the contestants that...
Jojo?
Yeah, that one, yes. Yeah, the contestants weren't actually painted by the 3 mentors from each show. They got the finishing touches, but Chanel and Mayhem, and I think there was one more that were actually doing all the painting for the queens, or for the celebrity queens.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. So Mayhem knows how to paint a face. Real talented.
Oh, he's frozen again. I'm worried. I'm scared now.
Don't worry.
SD. I'm over frozen internet connections. I don't know what's happening today.
You never know what's going to happen on Realness.
Right? It's so real. It's so real. This is real life. Unedited. Lastly, we have Miss Angina come in. She's super cute. Her 10-year glow up is working for her. I guess 11 years. I thought she looked cute. She also looks like she's a petite little queen as well. I liked her big headdress. I thought her makeup looked amazing. Yeah, I liked seeing her.
I like that during her entrance, someone said like, "Oh, it sounds like someone's dragging something," because her costume was so heavy and made some noise. So I was like, "Oh God, Angina's about to get dragged." Like.
It sounded like when my mom brings out the Christmas decorations.
Yeah, that would be great.
Oh, time to put up the tree.
Yeah, it's noisy.
Clank, clank, clank. She looked good. I'm glad she's like on my team. I did watch a little bit of season 1, so I did see some of her stuff. I'm still in the process of season 1. That filter, man, what's up with that? Like, what's up with that production? But I noticed that the judges on season 1 were really harsh on them. They were really like, Santina was like, "I hate your outfit. It looks like shit."
I used to love Santina.
Me too.
Oh, he's great, yeah. But I'm just like, I just was going back from like when I started watching it season 4, season 5, and then going back to now seeing 1. They're like, yeah, this is shit. Like, it's awful. This outfit is awful.
Angina's outfits were pretty low budge, and Santina was coming from being like my favorite on Project Runway. So I see what and he came there to be like the Simon Cowell point of view of fashion.
Yeah.
It was that time in like reality television where you needed a mean judge.
Yes, mean.
Yeah.
Now, a fun fact is Michelle Visage originally was going to be a judge on the show, but a contract kept her off of it until season 3. She was working.
What was she working on?
She was working with another company that wouldn't allow her to film with. I don't remember who the original network was. I don't think it was VH1.
Wow, Wow.
Yeah, but whatever WoW was before it became WoW. So she was under contract until season 3, and that's when Ru gave Meryl the boot and took her bestie with her. Some insider info. I wish I had better details on it.
Yeah, thanks. Just more research before you bring it to the table.
I'm so embarrassed.
It's all good. So Rupaul comes on in, and I laugh because she's like, my girls have all grown up, and then she throws the beads like my favorite campy movie.
Yes.
Do you know what the reference was?
It was
Showgirls?
Showgirls!
Yeah, Showgirls.
I've never seen that. I've never seen Showgirls. No. I'm going to watch it one day. Yeah,
you need to see Showgirls. It's not one of those things like when like people are mad at me that I haven't watched like Breaking Bad. I'm just like, sometimes I just can't sit down to watch like a man put like a dead body in a bathtub with some with some fucking acid. Like, I just sometimes I'm just not in the mood for that.
Yeah.
But you are always going to be in the mood for Showgirls. It is so deliciously terrible that you. And I feel like you were a Saved by the Bell fan. You would love Miss Jessica Spano.
Jessica Spano.
Like,
Spano, I know. I've seen clips. I know her name is like Nomi Malone. I know she's Versace. I know that she ate doggy chow. I've seen clips. I just have never. I've just never seen like any plot line. I've just seen like people making fun of it.
Not.
It's the American Dream, Vegas style.
Yeah.
Like from trailer trash to Showgirl. Like, it is exceptional.
It's the Derrick Barry story.
So good. Like, I've seen Showgirls probably 500 times.
Yeah,
I used to have the VHS tape of it, and I used to watch it over and over again.
I think I recorded it like from a live cable broadcast when I was in high school, like, and it had full-on commercials that I would have to fast forward through. It was
I think I was just so gay as a kid that I was just like, boobies, I don't want to see those.
Not much boobies, but it's a lot of Showgirl. It's so trashy.
She was so hot in that too. Like, she looked really good in that movie.
I love Gia Gershon and like all the terrible but great like kind of lesbian like scenes in like leather. It's just so good. This is your homework, Paz.
I will watch that. And there's also a documentary called You Don't Know Me. And it's all about like the cult following behind Showgirls, and it was at Inside Out last year. So
you told me about this before.
Yeah,
you told me about this on air before, and you haven't seen Showgirls. I feel like you did.
I don't know. You don't know me. Yeah.
You don't know me.
You don't know me, Malone. I don't know. I don't know the reference, but there you go.
You need to watch for Sace.
Yes.
Okay, I'll watch it this weekekend.
Yay.
I'll watch it before we do the next one of this. How about that?
Great.
Yay! So, she talks about the new game, new rules. She kind of teases that, she didn't give the full story about what's going to be different, but she kind of leaked a little bit of the queens and tells them that they're going to be voting for the bottom queen. It's a rubocracy. And so that's all she really gave them. She didn't tell them about what we know is going to come to be. Did you feel as though the queens were authentic in their surprise, or do you think that they know what actually the whole season's going to be about?
I think they were authentic. Like, I think the Drag Race rules changed season 2, and then then season 3 they kind of changed. Last year we had a double crowning winner. I think they kind of expected something to. We've gotten a lot of Drag Race content, right? Like, we've had back to back to back to back to back. I think Rue needed to do something to refresh the brand a little bit and to get people a little more excited. And I think bringing in what we will find out later on is a great idea. Just showcases more people, higher stakes.
It brings back people from like past seasons that that Rue does consider an all-star, or is a winner that comes back and proves why they won. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that never really lip sync as winners, and they never really came back. So this is a chance for them to come back.
Sure.
It's the first
the authenticity of their reactions. Yeah, I thought it was really good. I don't think they expected to play that game, and really, I didn't know the rules until it was explained to me on the show, and I'm like, oh, I was I'm really excited.
Mm-hmm.
I looked them up, but I knew it was coming, and I was just wondering. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like they've speculated, or they have an idea, or there was rumors floating around. But I'm happy, with leaving them in this little bit of suspense for clarity, we'll say.
Yeah. So
right then and there, they have, seemingly then and there anyways, the first mini challenge, and they have a guest little host. So what do you think about Mr. Martin coming on the scene?
Good. Looks so good.
Face-wise, I thought his outfit was a little bit...
I don't remember because I was looking at his face. Right. Ricky Martin, for me, as a gay boy, Ricky Martin was, who is this? Help me, God. So, and I think he's stayed beautiful. I think he's got a great spirit. I like him as a person. I think he's, he's lovely. So I was really excited to see him, and I'm glad that they had him, take part in the reading challenge.
Jojo's not wearing pants again.
Oh, yes.
Where's the star?
It looks awful, those little chicken legs. It's not a good look.
I mean... So he comes in, he does the first read, and he gives her a little bit of a read on Rue. I didn't write down the read. Did either of you? I know he's talking about something about the American flag.
Yeah, it was something about our age, I'm assuming.
The old stars on the flag.
It was just an old queen bitching at another old queen.
Yeah. We've both been around the block, Ricky and Rue.
So
I mean, maybe if there's some fracking.
How do you think of the reads? Did any of them stand out? I didn't write them all down.
Best reads was when I think it was Jujubee called Mayhem Miller Mayhem Filler, and then Mayhem.
That was great.
Was that Jujubee that did that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Jujubee, and I called it that Jujubee and Blair were going to win that thing, and then the fact that they tied, I was like, oh, well, there you go, perfect.
I thought Jujubee was way stronger than Blair. Like Blair had a good line.
So I really laughed though when she's like, the pause.
Yes, that was
like,
great.
I was just waiting for you to Google her because that's like how I was feeling.
Yeah.
Like
that was a great moment.
Nailed it.
RuPaul's Drag Race, some stars.
Yeah, that was good too. Yeah. I personally like India's like I liked when she did her little hashtag Free Britney. That was a good read against Derrick. Do you remember? No?
I think she had that written down for a while. Like I think
she was saving that one for a while.
That's the thing about India is that she seemed very rehearsed. Like she knew, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna say this line. Where it's like just say whatever line you gotta say. Like I don't know, she seemed very rehearsed.
I like in the moment, like referencing what's happening in front of you then and there, and not relying on reads you've heard before or manipulating them to suit a certain person.
How long do you think
Alexis Mateo gained weight? Cool. Why do we have to bring that up?
Do you think that they know who the cast is like a little bit before so they can like prepare their reads? Or do you think that like when they get to the workroom, it's like they're like, okay, you got to think of my reads now. Like how long do you think that they have to prepare?
I don't know.
I'm sure that when it came, like they maybe didn't know that Mariah was going to be there, but they probably knew that there was going to be some filler queens in there. Like, I bet you they had just replace whatever name with another name. So yeah.
How do you write a read? I want to go to a read writing class.
It is fundamental. It's also being offered on the Ryerson University College. Yep, it's happening this year. The read. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, that's actually a great course.
Yeah.
And what's the difference between reading and insulting somebody? Like, because there's been so many times where, like, I think my one person is who's that queen on season 9, the one that they called fat. They kept calling her Alexis Michelle.
Right.
Yeah. And then Alexis Michelle would be like, "You're a whore," and like they would just be like, "Oh, Pillsbury called. They want the rolls back," and they were just like something like joking, and she'd be like, "You're fat. You're a stupid person. I hate you."
Yeah, there is a line. I guess the line that's drawn is whether or not it's funny.
Yeah.
If it doesn't land and people laugh, it's not. It's an insult.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Who was the one that was crickets though? That was so bad.
Angina flopped hard. This is a person that's like been actively trying to be an all-star since All-Stars began, and I do feel like she could have come in a lot more prepared. Like I thought that was a flop in general. Entire episode kind of a flop for Angina, besides her entrance look.
Agreed. She's such a cutie, though. Oh, wow.
Gorgeous, stunning, lovely person.
Yeah, we're not saying anything
big
bad.
Flop, yeah.
It's amazing.
Big flop.
What we're saying here is just, like, just, yeah.
Now, with Jujubee and Blair being the winners, did that mean anything? I can't remember. They pick teams or anything, or like
they didn't get to pick an order.
Oh, they got money. They got money. They got $10,000 a piece.
How much?
I think it was 10 G's.
No, I thought they just got $2,000 worth of wigs. I don't know.
I feel like they got a lot of money.
Maybe it was a gift card for something.
Maybe I'm mixing things up. I don't know. I'm gonna re-look it up and see what she got. But I feel like they got some money.
Probably like a gift card or something. But they can't. Oh no, didn't they get it? Oh no, that was India. Never mind.
Well, then a hamburger Mary's or something.
They get, here's your $25 gift card. No tip.
Denny's.
Denny's.
Go on your birthday. It's free. So we have Shay offering up a little bit of exposition about the India and Derrick beef. What did you like? I don't even get why this is a beef. Like, is it actually a beef in real life that they like? Is there more going on to this story? Because like, oh my God, she said that my man looked like a pig.
Yeah.
It's take any like people that have known each other for 10 years, whether they're working together in a club or in a restaurant or something like that, and you put them on a reality show and they had some sort of beef. It's like a producer's dream to put that on the show. Mm-hmm. And just, working in Vegas and working at clubs, even from season 1 of All Stars, they talked about Mimi on First stealing Alexis Mateo's something and like some other kind of gig. And it just, when you all work together and you're all in the same profession, there's going to be some sort of beef between you, whether it's online or whether it's on something. So,
I mean, I don't know if it's just because I like Derrick's face better in and out of drag than I do at India's. Would you say obviously? Well, and just like I was team Derrick regardless of what Derrick was saying. I was like, even if he was meaner, I was like, I'm on Derrick's side for whatever. I don't even know if he's right or wrong or who's right or wrong. Like, I was not team India for whatever this argument is.
Derrick usually is like, when he's in a fight or like he's in an argument, he generally is not like, he'll say some mean like things, but when he'll always back up his argument. And I feel like if this person was online and they publicly said some dirty things, then yeah, I side with Derrick through that whole episode. Because she even apologizes later. India apologizes like, I was online and I said some rude things and I've done some like things and I'm here to like, redeem myself and apologize and I'm back. So
I think Derrick's quote was, it was something about, you're a two-faced person and I don't fuck with two-faced people. And that to me, like, I was like, that's so hilarious because the drag queen is literally two-faced. You're literally talking about everyone.
I thought you were going to say he was a Gemini or something.
Yeah. Like, no, you're a queen. I get it. They're from the same, like, whatever. It's a television show. They're trying to add some drama. Derrick was pretty aggressive in their season. Like, Derrick was always fighting with Bob. That happened. I feel like once you hear about a twist, though, that's when you have to kind of bring it back. Like, they didn't know what the rules were yet. So why pick a fight with India?
Yeah, I think, though, that because we are competition reality show queen, that we are already playing the game. And I think that some of them aren't in game mode in that sense. Like, they're coming up to compete. They're doing their own thing. Like, they're a drag competition show, yes, but, like, they're not thinking that there might be strategy involved. So they might not immediately be like, oh, shut the F up. You don't know if this is going to screw me. I'm going to stab myself in the back here if I say too much. So it's because we're more competitive and we like competitive reality. I think so.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a Work the World talent show is going to be the main stage, which I'm excited about. I want to see what these queens have to offer. But one thing I didn't know was that Derrick and Juju are like besties and they want to play like Mean Girls vibes. Like, is this like just in the show or are they besties in real life?
I assumed it was just in the show, but I don't know.
You know?
Maybe in real life.
No, I don't know.
I'll look that up. Let's put a little asterisk there. So I'm going to look that up because like I saw that they were really kind of working with each other and like kind of catty and chatting and like, kind of maneuvering things together. So it felt as though that they seem like more friends than just seeing each other on this particular show, in my opinion. Oh yeah, there's the Derrick called her Two-Face. Okay, cross that out. JoJo said that line. So I didn't love Rue's dress though when she came to host.
Awful.
Okay, we're on the same page here. I loved her face. I know I liked her face and I liked her hair,
face,
but
yes. I didn't like the hair. I didn't like the dress either.
I didn't like the dress.
What did it look like? Describe it.
I have to remember now. Wasn't it green? Wasn't it that same minty green, like for the memo, India memo?
It was like just wasn't flattering. And
hold on, I gotta look it up. Pez, you're supposed to know what these looks look like.
Yeah, we need like an image right here in the middle to show.
Where it just like comes up like a little
Well, season 12.
Right there. Over there.
Look. Doesn't show. If I'm not mistaken, it's like it was a minty green, like shiny thing that was like quite, in my opinion, hideous.
Yeah.
It doesn't jog your memory, so you probably blocked it out because you.
It was more so the hair for me. The hair really bothered me because I think Rue has great hair, and Raven does a great job on Rue's face, but the hair was just. I don't know. It was just, I just didn't like it.
Is that who does Rue's face?
Raven does Rue's face, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, since season 2. Or just the season
Raven
after.
doesn't live in the same city as Rupaul to have done her face for the finale.
I mean, I think they're really still pushing social distancing at that point, that they didn't want to step on toes. But Raven, why didn't you, just hang
out? Give her a tutorial online or something.
Yeah, or get in one of those tents that you could pick up paint and draw on some brows. Be great.
Yes. That would actually be really funny. Both in hazmat suits trying to do Rue's makeup.
Perfect.
That would have been
really
great.
That's a good mini challenge.
Yeah.
So we got introduced to obviously our judges. It's going to be Ross, Carson Kressley, and Miss Michelle Visage. Yeah. How'd you like seeing our old friends again?
Did we just see them last week?
True.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes they change things up, so you never know. Maybe they were going to change up the judges as well. But
at the moment, Michelle is rocking crazy gray roots, like as much as me, super gray roots. I'm really hoping she goes gray.
She's not going to.
Check out her Instagram, whoever's watching this, and you too. Her roots look amazing. I really want her going gray.
I don't
think give it some support. Oh, she should though. It looks so good.
If she enhanced it and
yes,
made it
get some highlights in the front, with some gray in the front. Oh, I'm hoping that happens.
Should be
Cruella de Vil kind of gray, whoosh.
Oh, even half and half.
Pretty. It would be pretty. It would suit her as well.
Yeah,
I would like that look. So first up, I believe, is Alexis Mateo.
Yes.
And okay, how do I feel? I didn't love it, and I know that she's going to get a lot of praise for it. But when she came out, I thought she was great, but I thought it was so expected. And I also thought that, I don't know if she did or did not, but it was playing to her audience. She knew that it was going to be respected most likely by Ricky Martin, just because they have come from a similar background. And so I just wasn't wowed by it. I liked it. I thought it was good, but it was just good, in my opinion.
I mean,
oh yeah, go ahead.
We Chantele and I have been to a Work the World tour, so we know what to expect when someone comes out to do a number. I thought it was really high energy. I thought it was definitely on brand for her, but I do like the idea of people coming out and not necessarily doing what's expected. I expected that from Alexis. I thought it was a great performance, but it wasn't anything new or reinventing who she is now. But I still thought it was high energy. I thought she did great. Thought she deserved to be safe. Yeah, that's what I would say.
What I noticed about, they did say it was a Vegas tour. A Vegas thing, so it was very Vegas showgirl kind of big extravagant thing. But at the same time, yeah, you're right. I'd expect that from a drag queen to come out and do this big dance number. I want to see something different. Like, I like last year when Manila just started to paint this thing upside down, and this little thing. I like the whole, like, Trinity Taylor doing the whole tuck thing. Like, it was something fun, and it was something, like, I'm not going to remember that later on. Like, it's not the one that I remember from the night, so it's good. I mean, she looked like, okay.
Yeah,
but isn't that their job? Isn't that their job is to dance in a big, extravagant outfit with backup dancers and everything? Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I don't know now. When I think about queens in general, there are obviously so many different types of performers. Like, could Bianca win season 12 now? You know what I mean? Like, Bianca was such a comedy queen. She never had to lip sync. She deserved to win her season. But I look at a season like season 12 or even All Stars 5, these people have to know how to do everything to advance. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Like, there are different types of queens.
I think she still would have had it because, like, Ru is all about making her laugh. And so I think that she would have come up with something that would make Ru laugh, that would fit the brief. Like, she thinks outside the box. She's smart. And so I think that she would make it work. And yeah, I think she'd still do okay.
Yeah, like, I could see Bianca doing, like, that Grey's Anatomy and killing it. And then
for sure.
Doing Snatch Game again and killing it. And, like, the political debate would probably kill it. So, yeah.
So,
but I think that's what I mean by, like, performance.
Was wowed and excited by it. And I just wish that she had like 2 more weeks of practice. But Shea Coulee on that pole, I was like, girl, swing on that pole. I was really into it. I really just wish she was like just a hair better. Like, just so I could just be just a little bit more impressed, because like I thought it was really interesting. I don't remember any other queens taking it to that level. That, like, I've never seen a queen on a pole in the show.
I have.
And if she was even better at it, like, I didn't hear what you said, but
I said I have.
Oh. Ooh.
I wish the pole moved. That was my one thing. I was like, I hope it starts turning. I thought that would have been really cool. But her athleticism was incredible. She was sexy. She was fierce.
And that's when you can see the size of her, too.
Yeah, like, and the stretch. Like
I was like, that's a big man.
And everybody was just like... So I was like, they were mesmerized. I thought it was mesmerizing. If she was just a little bit better, I think she should work that in. She should get better at it and work it in, because I think it really, really was good.
Because I think she mentioned Untucked that I think it was Untucked that she said that she had just started doing it like 2 weeks prior.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty impressive.
Yes. So 2 more weeks and she'd just be doing some cool tricks.
Yeah.
I loved it. I've always wanted to. There was a dancer from, I think it was So You Think You Can Dance, that was a professional ballet dancer, and she did a lot of point work, and she fell in love with the pole, and she is Eliana something is her name. I'm going to show you some of her videos. Her pole work is unbelievable because she's coming from a ballet background and she does ballet on the fucking pole. It's like incredible. So if Shea can get to that level, or even just like, I don't know, a couple steps higher, like I think it could be a really, really good act.
That's cool.
Into it. Who's next? Mayhem Miller. I said kind of boring.
Yeah. I think she really tried to go. She was doing the performance with the eyes, right? That was what the performance was.
You know what I'm doing when I do that, right?
Yeah.
So making sure she smells well. I don't know.
No, just because it's like diction. Like that's what it was like. Oh. It's like she was rapping, and like honestly, like if the audience doesn't know what you're saying, and if you're mumbling, and it's like ooh 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 ooh. But I mean, like she wouldn't have known that. Like she would probably have rehearsed it a bunch of times. She would just said like super fast, and people didn't know what she was saying. So
yeah, I wasn't that impressed. I was hoping for more. I was like, you're trying to give like the mom in the audience, like go honey, yeah. Like you did good, honey. You know what I mean? Like she just did okay. So I I was a little bit worried for her after I saw that performance because I was like, uh-oh. I feel like other people popped so far up until that point more than her, and I was like, uh-oh. Next is Mariah, who definitely surprised me here. Yeah. She kind of did kind of an interpretive, like
political art
exhibition, artwork, and I loved it.
It was really cool. I was really impressed that she took it like a performance art piece and did that instead of relying on dancing and singing and doing some other thing, and it was outside the box. So that's great.
Yeah.
One thing that I was thinking throughout, though, is just like, I was like, oh my God, she's going to get red paint outside. Like, I know that there's probably a certain area that she was allowed to be, like, painting in, you know? And I was like, oh, I think her hand went outside, like, the line. Like, that's kind of also what I was paying attention to. But that's coming from a performance background. You know that she had marks and, like, she had to stay in a certain frame.
It was like she wanted to touch her face. She's like, no. Okay, no, my hair, no.
But yeah, I liked that she surprised me. I was surprised by that. I wasn't expecting that. I mean, it made sense for the type of piece it was, but I was worried about the barefoot thing.
Fair, yeah.
I was worried because men tend to not have a nice arch, and so I didn't notice it. It could just be from camera angles, or she doesn't have, like, she has a decent arch. But flat-footed men in a dress sometimes becomes very apparent, and it doesn't look as elegant as I would hope. But it didn't stand out to me. So I was worried. I was like, oh, bare feet.
I didn't notice until they were walking backstage. I think it was during Untucked. I was like, oh, Mariah's barefoot. So for my initial view, I didn't realize. I was just too enamored with what was actually happening on her. And the game was long enough that, like, maybe there was enough movement that it wasn't a...
She kind of got on the ground at one point, too. Yeah. It's probably because guys can't point their toes, you know?
And I feel like Mariah really did.
Pretty good boy. Beat. Oh.
Yuck. Enough.
Competition. What are we doing here?
Those of you listening, JoJo's giving us a little bit of ballet bar on the floor with his pointed toes.
Anyway,
that was this Cracker, and she has improved her act, coming out with her little Miss Dill number. She improved it. She's improved.
Yeah.
She's improved.
I did not expect Miss Cracker to come out and dance.
No.
Like, that was like doing twirls, the handstand, or is that what the cartwheel, whatever it's called. Awesome. Surprised me. I felt like it was really strategic, though. It was like she came out and was like, here's my comedy, here's my dance, I'm safe, that's enough, I did it, great job, me.
Well, and then people, they expect her to be all campy or like talk about the pickle thing, because like that was something that she ran with her previous season, and so I was like, like I don't want her to just harp on this pickle thing, but like she gave you what you expected, and then she kind of elevated her typical drag, which I was like, okay, good, like, yes.
I wish she had some sponges underneath. She was like, oh crap, not this one. There's a bunch of sponges. She's like, oh, wrong season. Here you go. Really fast.
You should be planning their comedy acts. Maybe.
Would love to.
For Canada.
Oh,
season 2 be a little bit of a
if Mike Bickerton is watching this, season 2,
let's tag him.
I applied to work on that season. Actually, I begged them. I was like, let me do something, anything. Please.
I sent an email saying, hey, I'll make cocktails backstage. I will, like, if you want to put a bartender in drag.
Yeah, are they going to have an Untucked? Like, do you think?
I hope.
I don't think they would, though.
I don't know if they'll have Untucked. I doubt it. I'm not sure if it's all being released.
The episodes are an hour and a half long, though. I hope they're not just like an hour.
I hope they're 7 hours. I hope we're excited.
I don't think it'll be an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I want everything said. I want to hear everything.
Yep.
So they show India being nervous for her performance. Like she's seeing all these queens coming out and pretty much being quite good, and she's getting worried about her performance. Did you think that she was going to do well or flop according to her, little confession?
The editing on the show is so funny to me because it's like, oh, someone's doing bad, and then you see them doing something, like she was twirling it up. You're like, oh no, that's going to be awful. And then 5 minutes later, it's playing it. So the editing on the show is very specific, I think, to sometimes make you think one thing's going to happen and then they switch it really fast. So I like that about Drag Race personally. I want them to fuck with me a little. I want to be surprised.
Right.
I didn't think she was going to do well. No, because it's India. And then she did really well.
Be nervous. Do better, hopefully.
Yes.
Remember who you are. So she doesn't do her performance yet. Blair comes out and she looks great.
Looked beautiful. Kitschy. Shouldn't have sung live.
Was that her own song?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of the music that she does.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
I think she needs a new producer, and because I think that they could make something a little bit more like, because she's coming in now more sassy and more like biting, but like in a cute, pretty young kind of way.
I'm growing up.
Work on that a little bit, make it a little more poppy or a little bit more like like she needs a dance beat or something. Like, I don't know, she needs to be a little bit more cool, not like like,
yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't want a ballad. I don't need a ballad from a queen, like a mediocre singing queen.
I was gonna say it because I do love a ballad from a queen when they're actually singing well. I felt like I could hear the nerves in Blair's voice. I wasn't sure if like production was trying to help post show by putting something on top of it. It was just not. I just didn't think it sounded good. And I've heard like Blair sing before, and it's not bad. But that's why I think maybe she's just a recording artist and not a live singer.
Yeah, who's her audience? That's what you need to like ask yourself when you're making music. Who are you performing for? Because like, I like Blair. She's on my team, #1 pick, and I'm not buying that CD.
Yeah, I'm not spending $1.24 on iTunes.
Yeah, my mom has an iTunes gift certificate, and I don't think I would even ask her to buy it.
Mom, will you buy me Blair St. Clair music, please?
It's like, no.
Would you want her to do something more like Meghan Trainor music?
Well, some energy to it, right? Like, and like some choreo.
It can be a little
sassy, like little pop, like number.
Yeah.
Like, I would even rather her do something like, it's Friday, like just silly, like cute, like it would work, I think, for her. Silly, cute, like not too serious, like not talking about like emotions, like, I don't know, a little bit more, a little sillier, a little younger.
There's something about young kids singing about emotions that I'm like, you don't know emotions. You don't know emotions.
And then, no, like, if she was always campy and then she has, like, one song that really nails it emotionally, like, that would be a big hit, you know what I mean? Yeah. But, like, I just don't think that whatever the style is suiting the brand that I saw come through the workroom. It doesn't fit for me. Yeah. She needs to be more Bratz doll or whatever, you know? So we had Ongina. I was hoping for her to do a little bit better, but I like that she had a couple of reveals. But then, like, Michelle Visage talks about it later, and, like, she just dancing by herself on the stage. It was just really underwhelming, and no Gina.
That's all you had. That's all you had to give, huh? That's all your talent was. Okay.
Yeah. Off Gina.
Aww.
Took it too far. Yeah,
we're exactly where.
Now that's a read.
That was a read. Oh
my god, that would be like, if someone did that would be very funny.
Off China.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I was disappointed in the performance. Yeah.
So next up is Derrick Barry, and all I wrote beside it, I was like, cringe.
Oh.
Cringe. Why is he doing impersonations? Why? This is
okay. Britney, dressed as Britney. Like,
we're going to talk about him quite a bit in the next little bit, but it's kind of like you are only known for doing impersonations of Britney. Okay, cool. And you know that the world, the drag community, and also, Jojo crashed. I'm like this. So, you know, and Rupaul and all the judges are always saying, like, we want to see who you are. We want to see what you're like. We want to see. So then he comes out dressed as the person that we're saying that he's always impersonating, and then impersonating poorly other people in, you know, the entertainment world. Like, what?
It would have been almost like funny, like instead of doing like a stand-up routine, I almost thought it should have been like Britney's lying in bed, possessed by these other demons, and it could have just been like Britney doing impressions. Like, it could have been just a little bit more theatrical and like kind of think outside the box, but like still stay in the same thing. I don't know, but yeah, you're right. Like,
he needs to be workshopping his ideas with somebody. Like, I think that he needs someone to bounce. Like, I don't think that he has creativity because his drag is solely started because he is impersonating Britney. Like, that's what the whole basis of his drag is. That's his makeup is that, his hair is that, all of his clothes are going to be towards that. And I think that he needs to take the time and get a mentor to help like, he needs a drag mother. He needs somebody that he wants to pull out parts of himself, not his version of Britney or his version of whomever he was pretending to be. Like, he needs to find his own personal voice.
And the perfect example is like Chad Michaels. Chad Michaels, yeah, can do a great Cher. He can always pull out Cher. But then all of a sudden there's aspects of him that are Chad and what Chad has to offer. And like, so yeah, Chad Michaels and him, I think they are friends because I believe that they're both like big, huge impersonators. So, I mean, hey, like, well, we'll get back to like the whole kick. He's back. You go there, boo.
Today's the day. Did Mercury go into retrograde today? Like, what the bleep? We're just talking right now about how, like, Derrick Barry, like, I wrote cringe beside him. And
unintentional comedy.
Well,
that's what I thought.
It's just bad. And we're just kind of like, he's being asked always to do something up, like do himself and bring himself out and show what his drag is. And then he decides to do that by pretending to be somebody else.
15 other people
poorly.
Yeah.
And we're just kind of like, where's your drag? And so I was suggesting that maybe he needs to get a drag mother, or he needs to get like a mentor or somebody that can pull out his own dragness. Like, what does he want to represent? Like, what's his point of view? He doesn't have a point of view. And that is how he's failing. And that was the hope that I had for him, picking him last. But picking him was that maybe he got a point of view, and he has not.
100% agreement.
Yeah. And I was just saying how, like, that performance would have been better if he was Britney, tied in the bed, and he was possessed by all these different celebrities.
Sure.
And the voices were coming out, and he was going back and forth from, like, Caitlyn Jenner to, like, whoever else he did.
Then she shaved the head on stage. Like, come on, give me something.
That would have been beautiful.
Why? Where are we with these ideas? We need to be backstage. Like...
I was saying that he needs to talk to somebody. He needs to bounce ideas off of people because, like, he doesn't have the creative capacity to think outside of being somebody else.
Yeah.
Next up is Jujubee. I wrote that I got goosebumps, but I don't remember what her act was. Was she singing?
She sang. Yeah. She was awesome. I had no idea she could sing like that, and that was great.
Yeah, I liked it, but I don't remember it right now.
Yeah, I think if you're going to do a ballad, you have to be able to sing, and she sang it, and it sounded great. You know, perfect. Good for her.
And then the woman that we've all been waiting for, not India, comes out and does a dance performance. I did like how she's like bumping everybody out of the way. What was her line?
So it was, drag is not a contact sport. Yeah. I mean, she had the experience with Mimi I'm First, where Mimi picked her up. That became an iconic line for many drag queens. I won't speak on my own personal experiences with drag being a contact sport. I'll save that for Drag Race Canada.
Yes!
Gee. But I thought India was incredibly physical, and I love that. I thought she brought it. India impressed me. First time India impressed me.
I loved bouncing out the background dancers. Like, I did like that. I didn't like her outfit. I didn't like her makeup, but I thought that I was impressed for what my vision of her, of what she did. I didn't love it, but I thought I was like surprised that she did as well as she did. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm like, yikes, she did better. I only thought she did better than Derrick Barry. I didn't think she was the best, in my opinion, but she did better than Derrick Barry, which I thought that was what the storyline was, is like, who's going to do better, which one. So
yeah, that was pretty much the storyline that I got from the whole thing, was that it was going to be the whole Derrick versus India story. So that performance, that's like your normal, I feel like that's a normal, like, just drag performance. Was it good? The choreography? Yeah, that was cool. I can't whip my hair back and forth like that.
I wrote down as like, I feel as though she was just trying to show that she had really good wig glue. Her wig glue was on point, just like, what? Like, I love a good hair flip, hair whip, like, hairography. I'm here for it. I do heels dancing, so, like, I love hairography. But I feel as though she was just trying to show that her wig was not falling off.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so this is where Ru explains the new rules. And so she and her team are going to choose the winner, mostly her, most likely. Mm-hmm. And then there's going to be two queens. The winning queen will choose one of the two queens to go home and choose their lipstick. And then all the remaining queens, included the bottom two, I'm asking.
Just the bottom two.
No,
sorry. Everyone. Yeah. Everyone gets
including the bottom two will choose the lipstick.
Yes.
And so out of the two bottom queens, everybody's going to be choosing who they want to go home. And that's when she introduced a mystery lip sync assassin is going to be coming in to go against the winning queen, who is going to be lip syncing for her legacy, and for her lipstick pick to go home.
And for her 10 grand.
And for her 10 grand.
Like, gimme. I would sing for that 10 grand. So I was pretty happy about that. I thought India actually looked fantastic for her lip sync. That was my favorite look that I've seen from her. Yeah, she changed like her hair and her outfit. That was the best I've seen her look personally. I mean, like she had like this really ringlety. Yeah, for her.
I didn't like it personally, but it could also be because I don't particularly like her, so I'm judging her more harshly. Yeah. But I didn't love her look personally, but I thought I could say that she looked pretty good for what I expect from her, for sure. Mm-hmm. So they start talking to the queens, talking to Miss Cracker and talking about her being the real deal. And she says Shabbat Shablam. I thought that bringing in her Jewish background into Drag Race, it is on brand for her. I find her quite funny. Yeah. And Alexis Mateo, kind of like what he said, Ricky Martin really did appreciate what she was bringing to the table. So I thought that she was also on brand there with her audience. Like, she knew Ricky Martin was there. Let's go do a little bit of salsa merengue, cha-cha-cha, little Latina number, and yep. He's gonna have his vote probably. What do you think about the other people's commentaries?
Critiques. Ricky Martin liked Mariah's performance, or a heck of a whole lot. they really just told Derrick Barry, they're like, the jokes did not land, and we didn't know who your characters were. So that sucks. Anjana was just like, I didn't know what I was doing. And it's like, okay, cool, Anjana.
Great.
Thanks for being here. And and then
Mayhem fell flat, which she really did, flat vocally and flat like energetically, like flat. Yikes! She must have been worried.
She should have been.
So it just ends up that India ended up being the top dog of the week. Now, do you think that she actually deserved to be the winning queen that week, or do you feel as though it was for the storyline?
I think for what the challenge was, the Work the World performance, I think her performance was really strong. I think she showed like why most likely she came back for Drag Race All-Stars, and it was that interaction with Mimi. Do I think it was the best? No, but I think she was the top. I think she was in the top. Nobody. I think Mariah should have been in the top and not just Safe.
Yeah. I think Jujubee should have been in the top.
Yeah, I would have given it to Jujubee. I think Jujubee's performance was my favorite.
Me too. Actually, I thought that I enjoyed the performances of all the Safe queens more than like collectively the top queens. So the Safe queens were Shea Coulee, Mariah, Jujubee, and Blair St. Clair. And well, Blair maybe not, but I thought she looked really good. But I was engaged in all the other performances more so. I thought when she started calling out those names, I was like, oh, those are the top queens.
The top. Yeah.
I was like, oh, they're the Safe queens. Interesting, because I didn't feel personally that Alexis Mateo was top, and I didn't feel that India was top. She was good, but she wasn't top for me. Yeah. And yeah, I did like what's her name? Cracker. I thought she should have been top.
I don't know who would be top for you.
I'm like Derrick Barry. I guess he's the most great. He's the cutest.
Yeah, my partner and I were talking about the trade of the season, and obviously he was like, oh yeah, Blair. Like for him, I'm like, for me,
Blair?
For him, yeah. Like the little twink, Blair. Look at me. I would hope that he would choose Blair. I would hope that he would choose Blair. For me, I was like, I don't know, like it was more personality based. I'm like, I guess Shea,
no. I think Derrick,
Derrick's cute.
I think
Derrick with his trouble.
I who I would maybe make out with, and I think I'd make out with Derrick. I don't think I'd make out with Shea.
I think I'd make out with Mayhem just for fun, and we would gossip the entire time.
He's kind of cute.
He's really sweet.
I'd make out with Cracker.
Ooh.
No,
I would.
Cracker kind of annoys me, even though he's on my team. She kind of annoys me a little bit.
Here's the pickle, bitch.
I'm happy that she's on my team, but she does annoy me a little bit.
Fair enough.
Anybody else that makes you horny? Alexis Mateo, I'm not really into him or her. Angina, no. India, no. But who? Okay, well, I'll get to that actually later. Yeah, I guess the only person I'd make out would be Derrick.
Yeah,
I'd watch that. Yeah.
So the bottom two queens end up being Derrick Barry.
Yes.
And who?
Mayhem.
Oh, I put Derrick and Barry. And I was like,
Derrick and Barry. So Barry's not doing well.
No, Barry, poor thing.
Poor Barry.
And Mayhem. And I didn't want either of them to go, obviously. Derrick because he's on my team, and Mayhem because I think that she has more to bring to the table. So I was kind of bummed that this is the way that it went, because I did want to give Derrick one more opportunity just to see if he could do it. But I feel like they lost hope. He didn't come out. This was his opportunity to do something just a little bit different, and he just didn't. Now, if, they go to the back and they start talking about, who they're going to vote out and, the strategy, are they going to vote out the strong queens or the weak queens? What do you think about that? I would have probably kept Derrick there because, I want to win 10 grand. I want to win the show. Derrick is not going to beat me later. And he sucked this week. So let's take out someone who has potential to do better is how I would be going at it.
Well, that's a strategical mindset, right? I think Mayhem was really smart that when Derrick left to chat with India, Mayhem went to everyone else and said, look, I want to be here, and started like kind of game talking right away. You can push that, like, this wasn't my best week. I had a day off. Like, I just had an off day. But at the same time, like, I probably want to try and get rid of competition.
Yeah. If I were playing, Mayhem would have been out for sure.
Yeah.
But this season is very Survivor-based now because everyone votes, right? So it could be a very close vote for 4-4 for, like, Derrick versus Mayhem. And one of these people, like, you know, so you just got to keep your friends close and enemies closer, I guess. But
and it forces you to campaign to everybody, not just the winning queen, which I like. So I feel like Derrick could have saved himself if he went a little bit more strategic and be like, listen, like, I'm doing my best. I didn't do my best this week, but keep me around because chances are you will do better than me. He should have just gone that route. Like, just be like, Mayhem is really talented. She had an off week, but she could come back and take you out of the competition. I don't think that I have that same shot, but I want to be here.
And also notice, like with game mode, if the person who's the top all-star isn't that great of a lip syncer, like, they can't shablam and they're going to be competing against a lip sync assassin, you kind of have to play strategically whether or not you're going to go and, hey, please keep me if you get the thing, or talk to the group. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Like, India can't, like, I had no hope that she was going to beat whomever she was lip. I was like, no, she's not winning this lip sync. She ain't getting that 10 grand. Like, I knew flat out that she wasn't going to win the lip sync. And guess who she's lip syncing? My number one queen pick from last season, or not last season, but season before, Miss Evie Oddly.
Yes.
And going back with, like, our conversation with Ru stepping outside the box, I think she stepped way outside the box with like crowning Evie Oddly as the winner. She is not a typical queen. She's not a Rupaul style drag queen. And so I feel like she is stretching herself a little bit as well. And she's probably too, you know, because of the criticism of the fans. But I love Miss Evie Oddly. I think she is really hot. I would make out with her in a second. Like, her big fat lips. I love it. I think she's hot.
Gorgeous. In every sense of the word, gorgeous.
That bending body, I don't understand that is contortionist all around. I freaking love it.
That's so beautiful. So I was like, okay, you're going to go against Evie Oddly. I did not think that there was a chance that she was going to beat her. What were they singing to?
Ricky Martin.
Living La Vida Loca.
Of course they're going to sing to Ricky Martin. Of course. But yeah, Evie was great. I didn't really remember India's performance.
Didn't watch
it. That cartwheel to the slide.
That was I did write down that, actually. Slide into Evie made me gasp. It did make me gasp.
That was cool. And they were like, wow, but she just didn't have the shablams going. She didn't have the bendiness. And Evie was really working the whole, like, living La Vida Loca, like, the whole craziness. And, like, she had that song prepared. So that's the whole thing. Like, you might be, like, if you're in the top and if you think you're going to win that thing, you got to learn that friggin' song so you can, like, win and send that person home and get that 10 grand.
Absolutely. And be lip syncing against. Like, you could, oh no, you guys are both frozen. Does that mean I'm going to lose power?
No, you're good.
Okay, well, I'm just going to keep talking in case you guys both come back. I love the lip sync assassin twist. Okay, you're both back. Yay. And so I thought that it's going to bring more drama to the stage, or to the show. I like the lip sync assassin twist for sure. I think it should be to stay. And yeah, maybe even bring something into the regular show that's kind of similar, like just to amp up the drama, amp up potentially strategy, amp up the lip syncs. Like, instead of people feeling defeated and wanting to go home or whatever, or like, just like, you know, it doesn't really matter to, who am I going to send home? Like, it's not that big of a deal. But like the $10,000 and proving that you're awesome, like, I mean, I'm here for it.
100%.
Can we talk about one quick little thing about who was very upset who the bottom two was? Cracker. Cracker was upset that Angina was not in the bottom two.
Yeah.
Like, and they kept flashing to her face. Every time Angina would talk, the camera would cut and edit to Cracker's face.
Well, it's because she thought that Angina should be in the bottom two, which she should have been.
Yes.
Yeah.
It should have been Derrick and Angina.
Yeah. Or even Angina and Mayhem.
Or Derrick was very bad.
Derrick was really bad, but I thought it was unintentionally funny. The fact that it was like, this is so bad that it's funny. And that was passable for me.
Yeah, because the whole thing with Mayhem is I didn't understand a word that came out of her mouth during that thing. So it's like... But then Angina hasn't been on since season 1, so we might as well like leave her on for another episode and give her like whatever. So anyway, it causes more friction and more like storyline anyway. So yeah.
In Untucked though, Blair was talking about how she had fun during her number, and I was like, did you?
How many times did you film it, Blair?
Are you sure?
Only saw one copy.
Are you sure you had a good time with that one?
Ooh.
Like, I think she was probably just trying to have some false confidence there, because I was like, it wasn't great, or maybe she didn't watch it back yet and be like, oh, maybe that wasn't so great.
Yeah,
but she was safe. Phew. What else happened on Untucked? A lot of pole puns.
Yeah, I think my only favorite moment of Untucked was when Mariah sat on the white couch, and I was hoping it would be covered in blood. I was like, ruin that couch, ruin it. First episode, ruin it. I hope it's light pink next week.
Evie oddly did win that lip sync battle against India. We kind of just like glossed over it.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
Totally.
Yeah.
And so I wish though that Evie, I mean, sure she got paid for her appearance, but that she got like some money out of it too. Like they should steal some of that pot or something. You know, like get half, 5 Gs.
Yeah, why not? That'd be great, actually.
I'm sure she got paid for the episode. I'm pretty sure she got something.
Yeah, I get some cash, cold hard. I love that, you know, they start strong. Yeah.
Or she can walk over and take a queen's like wig off her. She's like, this is mine. All of this is mine now. Just strip some bare.
What I love that Evie said, she said something to the effect of, yeah, you usually only get invited back to like an all-star season, whatever. Shit.
It's true. Yeah.
And she's like, so I guess I'm not shit. And then you hear her funny laugh.
I do love her laugh.
How do you do it?
Gorgeous.
So Jujubee and Derrick were the only 2 people that voted Mayhem, unfortunately. And so I was sad that India was able to take out Derrick, but I was also really sad that Derrick just didn't do better. Womp womp. Do you think there's a twist this season? Anybody coming back?
Yeah, like that. Well, even said he goes, and you know I'll be back. Like, you know that this is like All-Stars. There's gonna be, I'm coming back, so.
They spent a lot of time with him in the workroom, you know, at the end too. I was like, is something happening?
Yeah, he really packed up.
Sort of folding his clothes, did some laundry.
A gap board to fold all the shirts. Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't mention, though, about how Jujubee was talking about Miss Cracker's butt and her thighs. I mean, we're like just getting on. They're feeling Miss Cracker.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Really?
Yeah, I missed that part.
Yeah, they're all about her. Just like, and they're showing like clips of like her thighs and her butt. You know?
I remember.
I think they really want some showmances to blossom out of this. I think that the whole like Brooklyn and Vanjie thing happened, and like.
Yeah.
I think that they want more romance. It's the whole Gigi.
100%.
Thing, like, yeah, that's what the show's kind of. It's like I want to see some drama between. I like him. I like him. Oh, it'll be fun.
Jujubee and Cracker is gonna be a thing.
Maybe.
Okay, let's put it out there. Put it out into the universe.
Put that in the world.
Did they show a preview? Did I see a preview?
They did, but it didn't look like. Yeah, there was, but I don't remember anything that was like.
I don't remember either.
Well,
But it's coming.
do we have anything else to say today?
No.
Bye,
Other than
Derrick.
for the technical difficulties, it's just just a bunch of mayhem going on.
Yeah. A bunch of meh.
We all free. Yeah.
Well, I'm having fun so far with the season. I like that this twist has come around so we can talk about it. It brings a lot of drama, the drama that I like. I don't really care for like the India Derrick Barry drama. I like strategic drama.
Yeah.
So I'm happy so far. Sad to have my first member of my teammate. Do I get to take India now?
I'll give it to you.
Go for it.
I don't even want her. I'll stay strong with 2.
Fair enough.
He's there if you want her. He's there for the lifeline. If you get knocked all 3 of them out, then you can.
Okay, yeah. If I lose, no, I'm not going to. So yeah.
Well, it's all good. It's all good.
Well, that's all we have for you today. If you want to find me on Instagram at ShanFranFran, or
I'm sorry, go ahead. Oh my God,
all of us on Reality Realness at Reality Realness with 3 S's, and
you can find me at Michael Pez on Instagram, and always subscribe down below and leave your comments. We'd love to hear them.
yes.
And you can find me social distancing on my couch or at Joseph O'Toole, anywhere, wherever the fuck you want.
Make sure you subscribe right down below, hit that like button, ring that bell, so every week we'll be showing up to notify you that we have a new episode. Hopefully one with good internet connection. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.